What's up, everybody? Let's turn this baseball game on. Anyways, this is my NXT TakeOver The End review show. It just ended about 5-10 minutes ago. NXT TakeOver The End. It was tonight, Wednesday night, on the network, on the WWE network. Hopefully you have the network, so you saw TakeOver. First, I'm going to read this poll I put out after the show. Rate tonight's NXT TakeOver The End. I got a number 4, not number, letter. Yes, number, not letter. Number 4, 6, 8, 10 rating to pick from, to vote for. 0% have picked that the show is a 4. 9% said it was a 6. 36% said the show was a 8 rating. And 10%, a 10 rating. 55% said NXT TakeOver The End was a 10. My rating, I would give NXT TakeOver The End, I would give it 8. Pretty good show. They could have had one more match on the show. That's the only thing that I didn't like about the show, is they only had 5 matches, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 matches on the show. They could have had one more. But I was still happy with the show. I'd give it an 8. Another thing, I probably would have gave the show a 9 or 10 if 3 matches were very good, but 3 matches were pretty good. I guess if 4 out of 5 matches would have been really good, I probably would have gave it a 10, but 3 matches were pretty good. So it gets an 8 rating. On to the review. First match kicked off with Andrajo, whatever the guy's name is, I forget how to pronounce it. He was making his NXT debut against Ty Dillinger. It kicked off TakeOver The End. It kicked off the show. The crowd was very excited, very hot crowd to kick off the show. They're excited to see this guy making his debut. He was a good wrestler, good worker. He was in Japan, Mexico, Indies. The guy was a pretty good worker. That's why WWE signed him for NXT. So he takes on and makes his debut taking on Ty Dillinger. Ty Dillinger comes out. He is super over. The NXT fans love Ty Dillinger, the perfect 10. The guy was super over. The crowd was going insane, chanting 10, 10, 10, 10. Crowd, NXT universe, NXT fans, whatever you want to call them, they love Ty Dillinger in NXT. Ty Dillinger loses. And I thought he would, because in my prediction, I predicted Ty Dillinger would lose. I would have liked to see him win here, but I understand why he didn't win, because the other guy was making his debut and needed to win. I would like to see Ty Dillinger on the next TakeOver. I would like to see him at least be on the next TakeOver in Brooklyn and get a victory, because he deserves a win on a TakeOver event. The guy is super over. Up next, we had the tag team titles. Tag team title match was up next. This was fucking great. Probably the match of the night, in my opinion. Yes, the tag team title match was the match of the night. It was fucking great. It was tremendous wrestling. Great tag team wrestling. They told a great story. A lot of near falls. It was fucking awesome stuff from these two tag teams. They know each other very well. Worked with each other before a lot of times. Worked with each other on live events. Worked with each other at TakeOver Dallas and tonight, so they know each other very well. And they put on a great tag team title match. American Alpha defended against the Revival, Dash and Dawson. As I said, it was damn good wrestling. It was damn fun to watch. It was Great tag team wrestling. If you're a fan of tag team wrestling like I am, then I'm sure you loved it, because I loved it. Jason Jordan. In the beginning of the match, the guy came in, and Gable did a drop down. Of course, leaped over Gable. Jordan with a beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous drop kick he hit. And then he hits another gorgeous drop kick. Jason Jordan, that guy is a fucking A+ talent. That guy's a hell of a talent. Same with Chad Gable. He's a hell of a talent also. But Jordan, because he's a little bit bigger than Gable, a little bit taller and bigger, I think Jason Jordan will probably get a bigger push on the main roster than Chad Gable. But who knows? Maybe they won't be a team when they go to the main roster. I don't know. But Jason Jordan, that guy is so much talent. I could see him being a future world champion in WWE on the main roster. This match is great. As I said, it was such a good tag match for the tag titles. And shockingly, I had American Alpha retaining. I thought they would, because they just won the belts at TakeOver Dallas in April. But whatever. They'll probably have a third and final match at TakeOver Brooklyn. It'll probably be the Revival again against American Alpha for the tag titles in match number 3 of their series. And I think that American Alpha deserves another tag title run in NXT, unless if they don't have them on the TakeOver Brooklyn show, then they're going to be on the main roster. But I don't think it's time for American Alpha to be on the main roster yet. I would still like to see them in NXT and stay there for, I don't know, 3-4 more months. Or maybe longer. If they win the NXT tag titles again, they should probably stay there till the end of the year. Because NXT needs their own talent. If they're going to be touring every single weekend, they need a lot of talent. And American Alpha is a huge draw. If you've seen them at a live event, I mean, they're a huge draw. They will bring fans into the arenas because they're that damn good, and people want to see them as a tag team wrestle. So the Revival win the tag titles, pretty shocking, but I mean, good for them. Dash and Dawson are a great team. They work very well together. In the Revival with American Alpha, they work damn good together. So the Revival winning the tag titles just means they're probably not going to be drafted on the main roster. I doubt they will be, but who knows, maybe they will be. Or the Revival could stay tag champs, and if the rumor is true that NXT is going to get 1 hour of Monday Night Raw, the first hour, then the Revival and American Alpha could tear it up on Monday Night Raw in the first hour and have matches against each other for the tag titles. And then, of course, NXT would probably keep their Wednesday show on the network. Even if they're on Raw for 1 hour, they would still keep their weekly show on the network, because that'd make no sense to cancel it, because the network subscribers would be pissed. I would be pissed. If they took NXT off the network, I would be really pissed and might think about canceling my WWE Network subscription. So the Revival win, pretty shocking. I didn't expect it, but I'm happy about it because they're a good team. And now American Alpha can just chase them again and probably get the tag titles back. So I wasn't mad with the decision to have the Revival win the titles back. I don't have a problem with the decision. Up next we had... And after the Revival won the tag titles, Chad Gable and Jason Jordan were getting up. And they were next to each other, holding each other up. And they looked really disappointed about losing. And then these giant... I don't know who they were... I'm sure they were training for probably a couple months at the Performance Center. I don't know who the hell their names are. I don't know where they came from, but I'm sure they're under contract. And I'm sure NXT and WWE planned to have them debut for months at TakeOver The End. So these two monsters, they come out, they look like Brodus Clay's twin. Somebody made a joke on Twitter, I forget who, but they brought up it's Brodus Clay's kids, or Brodus Clay's sons. That is pretty funny. Anyways, these two monsters, giant dudes, attack American Alpha, beat the crap out of them. And then Paul Ellering, I'm not joking, Paul Ellering, the former manager of the Road Warriors. The guy's a legend, legendary manager, Hall of Famer in the WWE Hall of Fame. Paul Ellering is standing in the aisle. He's standing right by the entrance, just standing there like this, standing there staring at these two giant monsters. And I guess he's going to manage them because they walked over to Paul Ellering and stood side by side with him. It's good to see Paul Ellering back. The guy really hasn't aged at all, except he is gray in his goatee. But he looks the damn same as he did in 1998 when Paul Ellering was the manager of the DOA. And Paul Ellering looks the same as he did in 1992 when he came to the WWF for the first time. So that guy, I don't know how old he is, but he doesn't age. Good for him. Anyways, good to see Paul Ellering back. The guy's a legend. And I guess he'll be working in NXT now. His daughter probably was signed to a contract, or else I don't know why they would bring in Paul Ellering. He's probably wanted to come back to be around his daughter and watch her wrestle, because she had a match on NXT like 4 weeks ago. So they probably signed her. Paul Ellering's daughter, if you didn't know, she's a wrestler. I believe her name is Rachel Ellering. She's been a wrestler for I don't know how long. Anyways, so Paul Ellering looks like he's managing this new monster Brodus Clay's twins tag team. Up next we had the NXT Women's Champion. No, not the Women's Championship. Up next we had Shinsuke Nakamura against Austin Aries. This match was fucking great. To me, it wasn't as good as a tag match, but it was damn good. It was almost a 5-star match. A lot of great stuff happened in this match. Austin Aries did a dive under the second rope, took out Nakamura on the outside. Then before the end of the match, Aries did a Death Valley driver to Nakamura on the ring apron. On the outside of the ring, on the ring apron, he did a Death Valley driver. That had to really hurt Nakamura. Nakamura was taken out, laying on the outside of the ring, dazed, confused, didn't know where he was. Austin Aries does another dive under the second rope, misses because Nakamura moved out of the way. Austin Aries crashes his head into the steel barricade at ringside. So Aries took himself out of the match, basically knocked himself out. And it was a smart thing for Nakamura to do by moving. Nakamura's music hit in Full Sail. The guy got a huge reaction. He's super over at Full Sail. Austin Aries also, he got a huge reaction. A lot of the fans were conflicted, chanting, "Let's go Aries, Nakamura, let's go Aries, Nakamura." It was great stuff. So Aries knocks himself out, and then Nakamura gets in the ring, throws him in the ring. Or maybe Aries climbed in the ring by himself, and Nakamura hits his running kick. I forget what it's called. Corey Graves always screams a finish of it. 1, 2, 3, Nakamura wins. Very good match. If it wasn't 5 stars, I'd say it was a 4.5. 4.5 stars. Very good. But I do think the tag team title match was the match of the show and a little bit better. Up next, we had the NXT Women's Championship match. Asuka defending against Nia Jax. This was pretty good. Could have been a little bit longer, but it was good. Nia Jax, she looked good in it. She looked like she has improved. She doesn't have to do that much because she's a big girl. She's reminds me a little bit of the super heavyweights from the 80s, guys like King Kong Bundy, One Man Gang, stuff like that. But Nia Jax isn't as big as them. I'm just saying she's a big girl. She doesn't have to do that much to be over as a monster heel. All she had is she locked in a bear hug. That's one of her moves. She always does. That works for big guys, big girls to lock in a bear hug. Old school move. Worked. It worked in the 80s. It can work for Nia Jax. How she is booked and how she can be used because she's a big girl. In my opinion, it's working for her. The stuff she does works, in my opinion. And she has improved in the ring. But, again, she had Bayley to work with at TakeOver London. And she worked with Bayley again a couple weeks ago on NXT TV. So when you're working with Bayley and Asuka, when you're working with them two, you really can't have a bad match because they could carry you if they needed to. Good women's title match. As I said, it could have been a little bit longer. I kind of felt like Asuka might lose the title. I felt like she may lose it because maybe they want Nia Jax to win in a shocking victory to shock the fans. But I'm glad Asuka didn't lose tonight. She shouldn't lose the title. I don't know. Maybe she'll lose at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, but I don't think she should really. Asuka should probably hold on to that title until 2017 because she's that damn good. She gives the title legitimacy, if that's a word. You know what I mean. Asuka carrying the women's title gives it credibility. For the NXT women's division, gives it a lot of credibility that when everybody watches NXT and you see Asuka as the women's champion, you know this is a real women's division that is booked the right way. And they handle all their women the right way. So, Asuka wins and retains. Nia Jax did a pretty vicious powerbomb to Asuka in the beginning of the match. That looked like it hurt. And then Nia Jax ends up getting kicked in the side of the head. And then she looks at Asuka, screams at her, like, do it again, bring it on. That's all you got. And then Asuka bounces off the ropes, does a running kick to the head. Asuka's kicks are deadly. That knocks Nia Jax's second kick, knocks her out, basically. And then Asuka pins her 1, 2, 3, it's over. Asuka retains the NXT Women's Championship, and she's still the champion. Congratulations to Asuka again. She looked great in the ring, and she's a hell of a champion. Great fighting champion, Asuka is. As I said, I hope she keeps it for at least 4 more months or longer. Now, we went to William Regal backstage with a new interviewer. There's a woman, I forget her name. It might have been Diana or something, whatever. She's interviewing the general manager, William Regal, about NXT TakeOver, basically. And then, behind William Regal, when he was talking, he noticed, he must saw him out of the side of his eyes, or behind William Regal walking was Bobby Roode, the It Factor, Bobby Roode. Walked past William Regal, went into his office, I believe, or maybe it was a locker room. Had a poster NXT on the door. Anyways, so Bobby Roode went in William Regal's office. That was awesome. It was great to see Bobby Roode show up and at least appear on camera on another TakeOver, because he appeared on camera at TakeOver Dallas. It was really good to see Bobby Roode again. This is great to see him again, because this means the guy's probably signed to a contract, or else he would probably not appear on camera again. Like Eric Young appeared, I don't know, a month ago or something. Anyways, Eric Young didn't appear. on tonight's TakeOver. Bobby Roode did, so I'm pretty sure Bobby Roode is signed by the WWE. He's probably signed, sealed, and delivered. He might make his debut at TakeOver Brooklyn. I don't know. Maybe before TakeOver Brooklyn. Maybe Bobby Roode will make his wrestling debut on NXT TV from Full Sail. Up next, I think NXT, their TV should start going on the road and doing live tapings on the road, because the crowd would be on fire and it would just add a lot to the show instead of being at Full Sail every single taping. But again, being at Full Sail every single taping probably saves them a lot of money. So now the main event. After Rigo says, "I gotta go," and then he went in the door in his office. He says, "I gotta go," because he saw Bobby Roode go in there. So he probably wanted to talk business with him and whatever. I'm sure Bobby Roode is already signed. Now the main event. NXT Championship. First ever cage match on NXT TV and a TakeOver event. First ever cage match. It was historic. It was a pretty damn good cage match. It was very good. It was 1,000 times better than the Ambrose Asylum. Even with the thumbtacks, the Ambrose Asylum was a fucking PG pathetic joke of a match. This cage match was 1,000 times better than the Ambrose Asylum. Probably the best cage match I've seen in probably a couple years. Anyways, Samoa Joe defending against Finn Balor. His music hits. First, he comes out with his theme. Oh, he's had the same theme for a while, but Finn Balor comes out as his demon character. Comes out, does his demon character gimmick, raising his arms with the lights going on and off. Epic entrance from the demon Finn Balor. Then it comes out Samoa Joe. And they have a great cage match. I enjoyed it a lot. My stupid network, the live stream froze, I don't know, like 4 or 5 times it froze, but then it came back, I don't know, 10 seconds later, 20 seconds later. It came back, but it was fucking annoying as hell. So I could not really enjoy the entire match because it froze a couple times. But I'm glad it came back for me to see the finish of the match. It was pretty damn good. Finn Balor had Samoa Joe up against Cage, and Joe kept getting kicked, and then he's leaning up against Cage and the top ropes, or else if the cage wasn't behind him, he would have fell backwards. The ropes in the cage were holding up Samoa Joe, and Finn Balor does a running kick to Joe, and then he starts climbing up the ropes to climb over the top of the cage and win. Steps on the back of Samoa Joe's neck, and then Joe, he grabs Finn's foot. Finn gets away from Joe again, and then Samoa Joe falls backward, or hits the top rope, so the top rope shakes. Finn Balor then is standing on top rope. He loses his balance and crotches the top rope, and you know that spot. Or straddles the top rope. That had to hurt like hell, and then he falls back into the ring. Also, he did Samoa Joe during this did a muscle buster, but Finn Balor kicked out. That was pretty damn surprising and pretty awesome. Samoa Joe off the top rope, holding onto the cage, but going back off the top, hit a sling blade on Samoa Joe off the top rope. That was an awesome spot and a highlight of the match. Then he hit I believe he hit the coup de grace, double foot stomp finisher off the top, but Samoa Joe, I believe, kicked out. I'm not sure if that spot really happened because my network kept freezing. Anyways, the finish then, Finn Balor is trying to get over the top, trying to get over. Samoa Joe grabbed his head, and he had his stomach was hanging on top of the cage. Joe grabbed him by the head, back of the head, slammed his face into the cage twice. And then Joe, on the second rope, standing, grabs Finn Balor like this, puts him in the muscle buster, standing on the second rope, sits up, standing on the second rope with the muscle buster, Bam. Hits the muscle buster off the second rope. That was a pretty insane spot. Pretty insane finisher to do it like that off the second rope. Muscle buster already pretty damn dangerous move because it injured Tyson Kidd, but that might have been Tyson Kidd's fault that he got injured. I don't know, but Samoa Joe has been hitting the muscle buster ever since he injured Tyson Kidd. He's been doing it to a lot of guys, and he's done it to Finn Balor like 3 or 4 times, and Finn Balor's never got injured. So I don't know what happened, how Tyson Kidd got injured. Anyways, muscle buster off the second rope. Pretty insane finish. 1, 2, 3. I knew Finn Balor was not going to kick out of that. Anyways, this ends my NXT TakeOver The End review. Hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed the show. I give it an 8 rating, 8 out of 10. I thought it was very good. The only match that was kind of boring, but I wouldn't say it was boring. It was very short, was the first match. Ty Dillinger and the guy was standing up, upside down, had his legs up in the air, holding onto the top ropes, standing up, I don't know what he was doing, posing or trying to do a lucha libre spot or something. Or trying to show off Ty Dillinger, the guy's upside down, holding on the top rope. Ty Dillinger super kicked him in the face. That was a fucking great. That was a great spot. That was awesome. I would have liked Ty Dillinger to win, but I understand why he didn't, because it was other guys' debut. Again, I enjoyed the show. Give it an 8 out of 10 rating. I enjoyed it a lot. First match was pretty short, but it was still good. Hope you enjoyed my NXT TakeOver The End review. Have a great week, everybody. Bye for now.